It's very important because one, if you eat the wrong stuff, of course, it constricts blood flow.
Hmm.
You need blood flow in order to have strong erections. You need to be able to like not get short of breath during sessions. So of course your cardio kind of needs to be up to par. Also you should like before sex, I wouldn't eat. Typically, sometimes people like go on dates, have heavy meals, go home, have sex or whatever. That's a natural thing. But for me, what I'll do is like blueberries or cashews or watermelon, things that like open the blood vessels and stuff like that. They give you energy from the sugar, but they don't make you tired from eating
Ooh, I'm about to stuff Bay with watermelon, blueberries, and
really,
cashews. Like, no, we gonna
really,
eat this for dinner tonight.
really, it works. It works. You'll because the cashews and stuff, all that stuff still suppresses your appetite,
Hmm.
enough for the time,
Right.
and you just burn that clean energy or whatever. Then there's also cutting your fingernails, making sure that they're clean,
Yes, please.
because you don't want to be introducing things to a woman's vaginal atmosphere that's not supposed to be there. Then like BV, yeast infection, stuff
Infections.
like
Yeah.
that. People don't think about that as much as they should. And then also, if you just ate food, then that's probably not a good time to try to eat her.
Hmm.
But you shouldn't brush your teeth and then go and eat her either, because
Yes.
yeah, because that's a bad thing. You open your gums
It's
up or
up.
whatever.
Yep. And if
So
there's anything happening
yeah,
down there, you can.
it's going to go straight through. So
Yep.
yeah, it's really important to think just and also think about what it's going to taste like for her. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm. I always say that a man with a poor diet is gonna taste like battery acid.
that's what I've heard. That's what I've heard.
Like you never like lick the tip of a battery. That's how it tastes,
The square ones, I bet.
huh?
The square ones.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
exactly. And it's like, wait,
that's
you said
crazy.
you tasted the battery when you was younger. We all did. Now stop.
Yeah.
That's what it literally tastes like.
That's
That's
crazy.
why I watch like men I'm dealing with. I watch what they
Watch what
eat.
they eat.
I watch
Yeah.
if they drinking a lot of water.
Mm,
I watch like every time we're out. What do you like? Of course, you're gonna buy drinks because whatever. But
yeah.
like, are you drinking enough water?
Right.
Do they seem hydrated? Like,
Yeah.
because I just don't want to taste that.
Right.
It's not
And
a.
and on the reverse for the women, when I'm making a woman squirt, I can tell if she's been drinking enough water or not. I can tell.
Mm. What is
So,
it? What does that smell?
well, it to be honest with you, it still doesn't smell like pee. It's just yellow,
Right.
a dark yellow. But I've
Right.
seen it come out clear,
Right.
so I know that there are levels to it. But
Right. There's levels.
yeah, either way, it doesn't smell like pee still, but you can tell like she hasn't been hydrating. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So
Mhm. Mhm. That's so funny because I told you I squirted, and he went to the bathroom to like clean up,
yeah.
and I just like sniffed the bed. I was like, I
You
was like,
got to.
I was like,
You got
I was
to.
like, wait a minute. I sniffed the bed because I was like, and I was like, oh, it doesn't. It is like it wasn't a strong scent. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, this is squirt,
Right.
not pee.
Not pee.
I was like,
Yeah.
okay, good. I was
Yeah.
so nervous. I
Nah,
was
I
so
get it. I
nervous.
get it.
Cause I was like, nah. I was like, if this is pee, I literally just peed his bed. This
Right.
bed.
That's why you got to do the smell test. I get it. Yeah, I do the smell test too, just to see, and
Right.
I'm like surprised that I do it during the time and then I do it the next morning. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Because
Yeah.
maybe I need a little time to ferment or whatever. But I just wait till the next day and I smell the spot and it's nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is not the same thing. It's
Yeah.
not the
It's
same.
it can't, and that's
Yeah.
why like the argument. It's pee, and I'm like, I can see that urine can be mixed in it
Yeah.
because it
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
but
It does
it's
go through the
not.
bladder, so
It's not mostly
right. It's not cleaning your body out. It
right.
can't be because or else it would have that odor from the
Right.
toxins or whatever. So
Right.
no one knows why it happens. I heard someone speculate that it's to how like women go to the bathroom after sex to
Yes.
so that you don't get a
Yeast. Urinary tract infection.
yeah.
Over
I've
time.
heard that it was supposedly maybe nature's way of doing that or something like that, but I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
right. Just blow out the pipes,
Blow
So
up the
I guess
pipes.
I guess that's a good thing.
um. So, do you? So going back to health and like making sure. Do you? What about exercise? Like, I know you said cardio. Is there anything
Yeah.
else that a man can do to make sure? Is it like
Oh, edging. He can edge.
edging?
Yeah.
I love a good edge.
Good, good. That's rare. It's very rare.
Like
Very rare.
it. I like it.
Mm.
How often do you edge?
Typically only when I'm editing my tutorials.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
because
Yeah. Yeah.
it
Right. That makes
it just
sense.
takes over. But in
Yeah.
between time, I'm trying to save my energy for my actual sessions and stuff.
Right.
But before that, I probably edged more than I had sex. To be honest with you. Yeah,
Mm.
it's like a whole day thing.
Yeah, can you explain what edging is?
Okay, edging is basically it's like masturbation, it's like practice masturbation, right? So you're doing it for the purpose of becoming familiar with where the edge is. The point of no return is what they call it.
Mhm.
You know, the point where you're like, "Oh, I'm definitely gonna come now." You can
Mm.
take your hands off and it's still gonna happen. You're trying
Right.
to figure out where that spot is, then become like practice getting sensation, like building up your sensation to the area right below that,
Mhm.
and like kind of staying in that area the entire time as long as you can without crossing over, so that the goal of sex doesn't always be having orgasm or whatever.
I heard that some men edge, um, if especially if, like, them and their partner are trying to conceive,
Mm.
they will edge and, like, save up until it's time for, like, the cervix is open,
Oh, okay.
and they'll actually have a
Oh,
they'll actually come
yeah.
because there'll be more
Dang.
sperm um, in that, I guess, that ejaculation, and so it'll
Uh,
be a higher chance of her getting pregnant,
okay, that makes sense.
right?
I can see that.
It's like, so do you feel like when you edge and you actually finally come to you feel like there's, like, a lot? Or is, like, about the same for you?
It really depends because I never really have fast sex, or
Mhm.
I don't do quickies. They don't do nothing for me, and I don't masturbate just a nut. So I rarely have anything but edging. You know, whether it's sex or masturbation. So, and a lot of times I like do this thing called I don't really know what it's called, to be honest with you, but like you ejaculate and you kind of keep going or whatever. So by the time I do have an orgasm, it might not be anything left. To be honest with you,
Mm.
sometimes, yeah.
Okay.
So it's a little, it varies. But
How
I never do short quickies.
short
Yeah.
cookies? Yeah, they don't do anything for me either. How hard is it dating when
Uh,
you have this profession?
well, I've never really dated and done this at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in a relationship like when I used to do this on Tumblr,
Mhm.
and I wasn't really.
Tumblr
I know, right? Good old days,
era.
the
The
good
good
old
old
days.
days
Yeah.
where you could just show the nipple,
Yes.
show the dick, show the pussy,
Right.
and
It
nobody
was
flag you for nothing.
exactly. It's good times,
Mhm.
different age. But yeah, so I was in a relationship during that time, and it was interesting because like she was like, "Okay, let's try this open thing." Because at that time I was pretty much saying I wanted to be in an open relationship, right?
Mhm.
So she was like, "Let's try this open thing." Now we was traveling on like a
Mhm.
long road trip, so I wasn't meeting up with nobody, but it was open as far as the communication on Tumblr.
Mhm.
Women might want to exchange pictures and stuff like that, but it was interesting because she would read those stories. She had my phone more than I had my phone, so she
Mhm.
would read those stories
Mhm.
and then masturbate to them.
I love that.
Then the next day, be like, "So what did you mean when you said?"
Oh, wait a
She can't do
minute. You
that, right?
can't do
You
that.
can't do that. I didn't think you could do that either. So
Wait, so was it an open relationship where it was, like, more polyamory or just, like, monogamish where it's, like, you and her, but you guys had play? You can
I like
play.
that term monogamish. It was more so monogamish because I never did anything with anybody else, and
Mhm.
she didn't either. We was together. Like I said,
Mhm.
we was in a car, just
Mhm.
traveling around. So for the most part, that's what it was. Now I don't know if she was maybe talking to somebody on the phone
Mhm.
because I never had her phone. She had my phone all the time.
Mhm.
So I wasn't hiding anything. There was no secrets. It's just that one day she loved it, one day she hated it.
Right. So
Which
she had a
made
love
me
hate
feel like I shouldn't try to mix the two again.
Okay.
You
So
know,
currently you're not dating?
dating by what you mean by dating?
Um, getting to know women o on more than a sexual level, like
Oh yeah, yeah.
right,
I would say I'm doing that.
okay. If you were to ever get into a relationship, would your partner need to be are you still looking for open relationships?
In a sense, like
You would need your partner to be okay with you being in an open
100%.
okay.
Yeah, they would have to
Well,
be.
yeah, duh.
They would. I mean, based on the past, they would have to be,
Mhm,
cool with that, having been out there. But yeah, they would have to be okay with me continuing to do it. You know what I
mhm,
mean? Because I know like people look at this many different ways. Some people have accused me of doing this just to get more sex. You know what I mean? Some people have accused me of doing this maybe just for the money or something like that. But yeah, I for me it's a purpose. What I
right,
like to do is teach what is correct and then watch
mhm,
people experience the results of that.
right.
You know what I mean?
You're
And
living in your purpose.
exactly, yeah.
You can't
So
knock anybody from living in their purpose.
well, you can doesn't make
Ah,
you right. You know what I
right.
mean?
I
But
mean, you
people, yeah,
can.
people do it. So
Yes, you're right. You
Yeah,
can knock someone from working in the purpose, but I respect it more because there is a purpose, right?
right.
It's not like you know how they say people fake want to be in an open relationship because they want to cheat,
Yeah,
right? But
yeah,
no, you have a purpose. Like you're doing this on purpose.
yes,
Um, so your partner needs to be okay with the open relationship. What else do they need to be okay with?
they have to be responsible for their own emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I'm responsible for mine. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? I don't somebody brings something to me, I'll I don't necessarily bring something to them until that moment where I'm like, "Oh, since you are judging me by this standard, let me pull out my ruler and show you that we are equal in this." You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? That you aren't hitting it on the mark 100% of the time either. I'm just not bothered by it. You
Right.
know what I mean? So I would like them to have the same amount of emotional intelligence as me in that state because I feel like that just makes it better
Right.
because I'm not going to always be there, whether it be a breakup or a death or whatever. I'm not going to always be able to be there for the person that I might care about the most, even if I care about them the most. I might
Mm-hmm.
not always. So they have to like. I need to. I would feel secure in them being away from me, knowing that they're taken care of.
Right.
If they look at life the way that I do,
Okay.
because it takes care of me. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? I don't have a person necessarily to do that. So
Mm.
I would want them to be the same way. And it doesn't mean that we don't come together and take care of each other.
Right.
It just mean I just think that it's a much more functional way.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So
Have
yeah.
you ever came close to someone like that?
It it's in spurts, it's in short spurts. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? Like it can be I've had people willing to try it and people open to it because they think that it makes sense or they might even see that it's a better way. That don't make it necessarily any easier for them. You know, I've been doing this. I've been thinking this way about love, relationships, all this stuff since like 2011, 2012.
Mm-hmm.
I've had time to practice,
Mm-hmm.
research, try stuff, throw stuff away. So for someone who's just been in the monogamous frame their whole time, you know, but they find value in me and they want to be with me, then it's not necessarily easy,
No,
you know. So
I would say like maybe someone who does come from more traditional monogamous thinking would it would be hard to date you.
yeah.